Hello everybody and welcome back to Timberborn. As always, I am Dor, and today we're going to go ahead and try and fix an issue that we accidentally created last episode. So as you can see here, we still have the barrier blocking this area from getting water. This is just the natural thing that spawns there, and we can go ahead and demolish it so we get water in there, but we haven't done that yet, and there's water in there. So what's been happening is we are actually flooding, so that's why there's water in there right now. If we go ahead and go back to this area, I had to go ahead and place down one of the district buildings to go ahead and have beavers in this area to go ahead and build the dam that we placed down, because the worker building that we had down doesn't actually extend the radius of the connection thing. So we had to go ahead and place that there. We have a couple houses down. We have a storage building down. We have this thing which allows us to go ahead and bring material from this village over to that one. But in order to do that, we needed this building, which is the distribution post, and that allows us to take pretty much whatever we want and set a route up to go ahead and transfer it over to this place. So that's how we got this thing built. But we have one minor issue here. We have, I think, 2 blocks or 3 blocks of levees going up to the level this thing is built on. And this is the tier 1 floodgate. So we only have the 1 block height of changing the thing here, so we can go ahead and make it as high as we can, which is going to go ahead and slow down the flow of water here. Let me go ahead and put it into 1 times mode here, which is kind of nice, right? It doesn't flood too bad here. If we go ahead and decrease it though, we can only do half decreases. That's going to cause a lot of water to come through right now because we have a lot of it backlogged. So we're going to start flooding some of the area here, and if we go ahead and just open up the floodgates here, we're going to really cause some issues down the line here with the water coming out of this. So we're going to go ahead and bump that back up to the max to go ahead and try and slow down the water thing. We're going to have to redo this during the drought, because if we go ahead and break those things down right now and then break all the levees down, it's going to flood the entire area. The buildings won't be able to go ahead and get worked, and I think it's going to flood the fields and stuff like it's doing right now. I didn't realize it was this bad over here, but yeah, that's going to be happening quite a bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and have to redo that when we enter into the next little drought here. But in between episodes, this took quite some time to go ahead and get built. So we actually have a lot of the stuff researched already, because the 6 buildings that we have down are pretty quick at researching things. I'm really hoping this doesn't come back to like end our game here and the flooding doesn't kick off here. But the water's not flowing out of the dams here. I wonder why that's happening. Do we have water coming out of this thing, or is it completely stopped? It looks like it's coming down. That might just be a visual thing though. Oh, never mind. There we go. We have water coming out of the dam again, so that's good news. Okay, so yeah. We should be okay. We're going to have to go ahead and place down a bunch of buildings here, because as we get deeper into the tech trees here, we need more stuff. So right now we need mainly gears, which we don't have right now. So we need to go ahead and place one of these things down to go ahead and start producing gears. We also need more power, because this thing needs 120 horsepower by itself. So that means we would need to go ahead and place down one of the water wheels just to go ahead and supply that with power, or place down multiple of the power wheels to go ahead and supply it with power. So let's go ahead and place down, where could we actually place down water wheels at? We could place them in the water, but I don't think our people can actually get to them and build those though. What if we build it over here by the bridge? Would that work? And could we connect them together with the little thingies to pull the power out of them? I don't know. Let's try and place one there and one there and see if those two combine and output power to a axle to the side of that. And we'll go ahead and place down the, where's it at? The gear making machine thing over here. And for right now, I don't want to place it right against the thing, because I want to go ahead and pull the power out of here, since we're going to be producing, what is that, 260 or 360? Each one of these is 180, so yeah, 360 out of this thing. So we should be able to go ahead and power multiples of these buildings. We might even move the plank building over there just to go ahead and free up the extra worker that we have running on the power wheel. I also went ahead and unlocked these guys, right? The tier 3 floodgates. So with one of those, we should be able to go ahead and remove the levees that are on the bottom, and then replace the entire stack here with the tier 3 levee to go ahead and have control over the entire thing of water. Because right now there's the 2 levee layers that we can't actually drain even if we wanted to. Like, we can drop the floodgates all the way down to as low as they'll go, but we'll still have a ton of water in this area when a drought comes in, because we can't actually pull the water out of there from the the area that we can't get to with the floodgate. So yeah, we definitely need to go ahead and redo this thing when the drought kicks in. We're going to get flooded again because the flood's kicking in, or the water's getting a little higher right now. I don't think 4 of these is even enough to go ahead and supply our beavers with water right now. We are having a few of them pop up that they're thirsty. So I don't know if maybe we need to place down a couple more of these things, or now that we have these ones built, they'll hopefully kick into gear and supply them with the water they need. Is this thing fully staffed? That's fully staffed. Those things are going to take a little while to get built. We should be good on food. The water might be the main thing right now that might start causing issues. We have 131 science though, so we can research some stuff. I do want to go ahead and save up until we can go ahead and start making dynamite. So it looks like we need 1,000 science to go ahead and start producing dynamite. So that might take a little while to go ahead and actually unlock. So let me actually unlock some more stuff here. So that's 1,000 points. I don't really need the bridges at the moment. I'm not building over any of the little cavern type things, so I'm not too worried about that. We can go ahead and unlock the last house. That's going to store 9 people in it, instead of the 3 that we're doing right now. And it's only lumber that it needs to be built with. So, oh, we don't actually have enough. It's 250. I only have 130. I don't know what I was thinking there. We're going to go ahead and let this stuff get processed then, I guess. Let's go ahead. We don't have enough to unlock anything, I don't think. Yeah. We definitely don't. Okay, I need to go ahead and let them process some science points through. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it into 2 times. So at least we get some stuff going here so that we can go ahead and start building. I do want to see if this is going to work together or if we need to space these out and pull from the middle with the power. So the water wheels are done getting built. This one on the left doesn't keep spinning as often as the one in the middle here. So I'm guessing we might want to go ahead and swap some of the levees out for the dam here so that the water's constantly draining and producing a current. That might be why this one keeps stopping every now and again. I'm not quite sure, but it does appear to go ahead and connect together. We have a power surplus of 360 horsepower coming through the line here, so that's good news for us. I want to go ahead and place down some things to go ahead and hopefully help with the speed of building going forward here. So let's go ahead and place down one of these things. This is a hauling post. It says that it helps with the workers in the district to go ahead and increase their productivity. So we're going to place down one of these right next to the main hut here. And we're also going to go ahead and place down one of the builders' huts to go ahead and employ more builders to go ahead and build things a little bit quicker here, hopefully. So we'll also place this one on the side of the main area here, and hopefully once those are done getting built, we can go ahead and build buildings and stuff a little bit quicker, because right now it's pretty slow to go ahead and get a building up and going. Even if we have a backlog of lumber and stuff ready to go, it still takes a second or two. Okay, so I went ahead and put a dam here instead of the levee, and it seems to be working. This one hasn't stopped spinning, so I think that's what we needed to do. I currently have them trying to go ahead and build the lumber mill over here, and I have the power things connecting the buildings together once those get built. But right now we are running into a real food issue, because it says we have 260 food items available, but we actually don't. We don't have anything in this town. It's counting the stuff that's over here in this place, even though we aren't over here anymore. There's no beavers in this area. I don't want to go ahead and have to build one of these things just to go ahead and get the food back over here. So that's why there's just berries sitting over there right now. So what we need to go ahead and do is plop down another forester over here to go ahead and plant more berries. We're going to cover this entire area in berry bushes so that these guys can go ahead and get the most out of the area here. So let's go ahead and plop that there. They'll go ahead and build that in a second. We have the other buildings over here done getting built. So hopefully this building here gets built relatively quickly, because this one's just about done already. It's at 13 out of 15. So that'll go ahead and get built in a minute here. We don't have anybody starving to death just yet, but we will have them happening sooner or later if we don't get our food situation dealt with, especially since the drought should be coming in 3 days. I believe every 14 days it's a drought. So if we don't have our food squared away in a few days here, we are going to die. So that's not great news for us. And let's go ahead and just toggle all the berries to go ahead and get planted. Once this thing is done getting built, they'll just go ahead and do it anyways. So the green grass ends about there. Where is the limit for these guys? All the way up to the corner there. Okay. So let's go ahead and cover that little area as well. I think it went out 2. Does it go out 3? It goes out 3. Okay, so one more on this thing here, and we should be good. So that should be that, and then we can go ahead and just drag it all the way back down and line it up with that one there. And then I believe these guys also manage this area here. Cool. So up until that one, that's why that berry bush isn't being harvested. Okay, so this should be good as well. That's going to be a bit more berries being produced for our people to go ahead and harvest. We could go ahead and place some here as well. I think that should be a good amount though for right now. I'm not going to place down any more. And hopefully once this thing is done getting placed, they'll go ahead and build all the berry bushes down, or place all the berry bushes down. And we should have plenty of berries coming through the line again. We are at capacity on water, so we're not having that issue. That's good news for us. We do have the science points to go ahead and unlock some more stuff here, so let's go ahead and do that. Can we go ahead and buy the next house for $250? Why not? We have a better 2-story house here. That's going to come in handy. Do we need more houses right now? We don't need more houses right now at the moment. We are at capacity. We need this thing, 160 points to unlock that. And then we can go ahead and start planting wheat again to go ahead and start making bread. That's going to come in handy as well to have another source of food being produced. And for 400, we can make honey, or beehives to make honey. So that's something we can go ahead and try and make as well. Once the lumber mill over here is connected in, we're going to go ahead and delete the wheel and the other lumber mill over here. Just go ahead and clear up the space here and hopefully place down another farmhouse to have 2 more workers work in the farm field here. And hopefully we have stuff getting harvested a little bit quicker. That's why we have 2 of them down right now. All right, well, it's actually 13 days and we have it coming in again in 3 days here. So by day 16, the drought will take effect and we are really not looking too hot on the food here. So I thought we would have a few more days to go ahead and get the berries planted, but it's not really going to plant in time here. We do have this guy planting, but it's going to take him a little while to go ahead and get them all planted. And then we have to wait, I think, 7 days for them to go ahead and mature. No, we have to wait 12 days for them to mature. So we might run into a little bit of a starving problem. I don't think it's going to be game ending, but it's going to be definitely population draining a little bit here. But so far, again, we haven't had anybody die from starvation. We are producing just enough food to keep them from dying, I think. So hopefully that's the case once the drought kicks in. We do need to go ahead and ship some of them over to the other district here when the drought does kick off so that we can go ahead and replace these guys before we have to wait for the next drought after this one comes through. So I'm going to try and remember that and swap it on over as soon as that thing kicks off. Okay, and then we can go ahead and place this farmhouse. I'm going to go and scooch it right against the lumber storage thing here so that we can go ahead and fill in the area here with the wheat here once we go ahead and unlock the bakery thing. But hopefully they get that thing built. We do need to go ahead and place this thing down to go ahead and grind up the wheat that we do have produced right now. But this also needs power, so we can actually place that over here. Where could we squeeze this in at? Because right now we can't go over the pathway unless we want to go ahead and rearrange it a little bit. I would like to squeeze this in here, but the pathway comes out there, so it's not going to really work. We could scooch it and wiggle it around there. Is this going to need power as well? That's not, and that one's not. Okay, so this is the only one that needs power that I can see right now. Can I build power things over the pathway? I can't build over the pathway. I can build these things, though. And do these connect over the pathway? It doesn't look like they do. And I can't place a thing in between those two to connect them in the air like that. So maybe they don't do what I was thinking they do. So let's go ahead and remove those so we don't waste the lumber on building them. So I guess what we'll end up doing instead is just going ahead and wiggling the pathway down and around instead of trying to force it through that area there. So hopefully this doesn't cause too much of an issue. And we can go ahead and remove the pathway that we did have down just to see if that's going to cause anything to break because it's not connected to the town or something like that. And are we still good? We're still good. The road connects all the way around. So yeah, we're fine doing that. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and place down the grindstone. We should be able to go ahead and squeeze it here. If I place it there, we could actually swap the connectors around to be able to plug into this thing, plug into that one, and then continue on there. So let's actually do that. That's a little bit of a waste of wood, but it should be okay. I'm going to remove a few of these things. Everything's going to shut off for a second because we're not going to have power connected into anything. But then we can go ahead and just place this here. And then we can place the T-junction on this one to go ahead and power the building and then continue on. And then we can do the same thing with this one. Can I get you to go that way? Oh, you know what? We need that there, like that. And then we need a corner piece to go ahead and connect back into the main line here. Oops, that's the T-junction still. That one should be good. And then once they get that stuff built, the whole thing should turn on and all of these should be powered. We might need to place down another wheel. I'm not quite sure. I don't think we do. I think that's going to be more than enough power for these things. I'm actually going to remove this one and this one just so that the main one here gets built, because it wasn't building this one in the corner because the workers can't build through the building like that. They didn't have a pathway to it, so they wouldn't actually build it. I had to remove some of the stuff to get them back there. But once they go ahead and get this stuff connected in, that'd be great. We can start producing some of the grain to start making bread. And here in a few minutes, we should be able to go ahead and unlock this guy. Oh, actually we can. It's only 160. I thought it was 260. So there we go. We have the bread maker now. And all we need next for the food stuff is the beehive. So as the drought's about to kick off here in half a day, we're going to go ahead and migrate 9 of our beavers over to District 2 here so that we can go ahead and build the new things down on the dam there. So let's go ahead and migrate 9 adults so that we have them able to go ahead and work and build in the area here. We do need them farming and running the water thing here so that we don't have these beavers in this little area die off from not having enough food or water right now. So once they get there, we should be good. They can go ahead and start harvesting some of the berries and some of the carrots and stuff that have been planted. This little town is probably going to be a little better off going into the drought because they have 259 berries already in our storage thing here, because I accidentally had our people over here bring them all of our berries. So that's why there's so much berries in this area. I tried to like keep an eye on it, but it got a little out of hand, and then it filled up completely and we ran out of food over here, and we did have some of them starve to death, but right now we seem to be holding pretty steady at the moment. Once this thing is done getting built, the grindstone, we're going to go ahead and replant all of the wheat as well, since we do have the other thing unlocked now. We just need to go ahead and place it so that we're producing the bread at least. So let's go ahead and place it here, since it's going to be next to all of our storage stuff, and that's pretty much where that's going to stay. And then once that thing is done getting built and this one's done getting built, we can really start hammering into the wheat again and start generating some of that, because we do have, I think, 300 wheat backlogged at the moment. Yeah, we have 351 wheat that is just eating up storage space right now, since we can't do anything with it until we get those things built. So this drought is going to last 7 days. That's not great for us. I'm going to go ahead and start dropping the floodgate here so that we have constant water draining out of this. And it didn't really do what I thought it was going to do. It didn't backlog the water all the way in the river here. It just dried it all out until we got to this point. So do we need multiple floodgates going back up the river here to go ahead and store a ton of water in the system here? That'll take a while to go ahead and get those things built. Is it even worth doing what I'm doing then? Because that's not a lot of water to try and refill the rivers here if they dry out. We'll go ahead and give it a go nonetheless. I'm going to go ahead and drop it all the way down to the lowest it'll go, and then drain out another layer of water. And then all we have left is going to be this little chunk of water once these things are done draining, which, is it done draining already? It might be done draining already. Now it's done being drained, and we do only have that little block of water left for us to go ahead and drain out. So it's not going to flood too bad, I don't think. And let's go ahead and remove these things. We lose the lumber and stuff that we put into it, unfortunately. So that's kind of a waste of material that we just burned into that. We can go ahead and remove the first layer of levees. That's going to cause water to come flooding out again. That's not too big of an issue. It's not that much water. And then we can go ahead and remove the last layer of them as well, and then we should be able to go ahead and start placing down, which one is it? This one here. And the triple floodgate is what we're going to go ahead and replace it with. It's the same height as the other thing that we just had down, except we're going to have the ability to drain it all the way down without having to delete anything, I think. So we can go ahead and replace that like that. That'll take probably until the end of the drought for them to go ahead and rebuild all of that. And I guess at some point we might want to go ahead and place another one maybe here, since that's where the next little drop-off is. Is that the same height? It's pretty much the same height as the wall on the cliffside here. Actually, no, it's one higher than the cliffside. So we might want to drop it down one over here maybe? Not quite sure, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. We're going to go ahead and build this one back up, have a little bit of a backlog of water that we just had, and hopefully that kind of helps us delay a little bit, especially if the things keep getting longer, because right now 7 days is the longest, and it jumps up. What is that, like 2 days or 3 days every time it swings around again? So right now I think we should still be good going into this drought with the amount of water that we have in our river thing here. But I guess we'll see, because we have a lot more berries planted this time around, and I think a little bit more carrots than we did last time we had a drought, but we should be able to see. We do need to go ahead and enable some stuff coming into this area. So we need logs because right now we don't have any trees over there. And we need the planks coming in. So let me go ahead and set that up. Okay, there we go. So now those two items are going to be coming into this place for them to go ahead and start using on the thing there to go ahead and build it. That's going to take a little while for them to get going here. These guys should do it relatively quickly though. So I also went ahead and unlocked the depth marker in between episodes. I totally forgot about it, but we can go ahead and place it right here. And that's going to hopefully tell us how much water we have in the river here and whether or not we should be kind of worrying if we're going through the water too quickly here. But I think we should be kind of okay. It doesn't seem to be draining super fast. We've only been in the drought 1 day, and it doesn't seem to be any lower than it normally would be. The wheels are not turning because we don't have water going through the dams here to generate the wheels. So that might be a bit of an issue. We might not have any of the planks being produced, which means this thing is not going to get built during the drought here, which is not good for us. We need that getting built. What if we go ahead and unlock the next thing of power, which is this, for 120, 1400 for the next one. Oof. We can unlock this one, though. That's going to produce 120 power by itself. We do need 20 planks and 20 logs, though. Let me go ahead and unlock it, and we can go ahead and place this over here. Which one's the plank building? This is the plank building, right? And we only need 120, right? 150, or we only need a 50 power for it. So let's place one of these next to it. That way we can plug right into it without having to worry about it. And that way the planks are being produced during the drought here. And we're not tied into having the water spin the wheels here. They brought all the planks over here already, so I can't actually build the wind turbine over in this area. So what we need to go ahead and do really quick is just place down one of these guys just so that we generate the power to actually make a couple planks really quickly here. So let's plop that there. And I think we should be able to go ahead and build this near it. I think let's do this one going that way. And then we need it going back inward. And then we need a T-junction going that way. Should work. And they should be able to go ahead and get these things built relatively easily. And we should have power coming through. So we made it all the way to 0.8 days left in the drought before the river dried out. So I think maybe we're pulling a lot of water out of the river here, and that's what's causing it. Because back this way, we still have the river fueling this area, I think is what's happening. So I don't know if these berries were the reason this thing dried out. Because we really didn't go too crazy with it, right? We only placed down maybe another 50 berries or something like that. And this little thing still has water in it. So I would have thought this would have dried out before the main river here. So I think we're pulling a lot of water out of the river here is what happened there. We also have the windmill up and going now, but it's not spinning because I guess it's not windy out. So that's kind of an issue if it's not going to be spinning. I also realized we don't need this many power axles on the ground to power the buildings here. So we only need one straight power axle connected into this building to go ahead and power both of them, and then we can run another axle out of the front side of this building down into this one to go ahead and connect it into the power system here. So we can go ahead and rearrange this stuff at a later date. I don't know if the building actually has to be built before we can run through it, because right now the axle is spinning, but I think it's only spinning because it's a T-junction, so it's going to spin no matter what. We still need 11 more of the gears before this thing is up and running. Is the other one built yet? The other one's not built yet. Okay. It also needs gears. Okay, that's why. So hopefully here in a second, when the drought is over, we have 3 days left. We have water replenish the area here, and we can start feeding our people again. We didn't have anybody starve, but we don't have any food being produced right now because I think it's all mostly dried out. So that's not really good for us. And this thing over here really didn't get built all the way either because we are really low on lumber pretty much. Is the main thing. Yeah, we just need logs. We don't need anything else in this area. We are done with the planks. So that'll go ahead and get built eventually. We do have a surplus of food in this area because we can't store any of it. And I don't really think it's worth wasting the material on building one of these guys to go ahead and pull stuff back over to the main area there. Is it is it this one? Yeah, it's this thing. So we need 15 planks and 30 logs. So I don't really want to waste the material on building one of those. This place isn't going to be run all that often. It's literally just built to build this thing, and then once it's done, we'll probably just leave it as a ghost town and not mess with it too much. So we made it all the way through the drought. We do have some of them dying from hunger now. We've lost 4 beavers to hunger starvation, so that's not too great for us. We also have 937 science points, so I'm going to go ahead and unlock some stuff with that, and I want to go ahead and unlock the beehive. This is going to boost the crop growth of crops around it, so let's go ahead and buy that. To go ahead and build it, we also need paper, so we need to go ahead and unlock that building. That's another 250 points, so let's go ahead and do that. And what do we need for that? We just need logs, and we get 2 paper out of each log, so that's decent, I think. So we'll go ahead and place the log maker over, or the paper maker rather, over here. Oh, we can't place it because the wind turbine. No. Where could we place this instead? We could scooch the road again and just place it here to kind of not have to connect any more of the power things. Or we could actually scooch this road out here and then just place it there in the little gap. So that should be good. And we only need another 80 horsepower coming through the line. So we should be more than okay with what we're producing. Or actually, no, it needs 412 power on the line, and we're only producing 360. So we are going to need another wheel eventually, or another couple wind turbines or something to go ahead and supply the power this thing needs. But for right now, that should be good. And let's go ahead and see how big the beehive is once we go ahead and place it. So we just need an open area, and it covers, what is that, a 6x6 little square? So I guess we can just go ahead and knock out a plant in the middle of our farm field and place down a beehive or 2 to go ahead and try and increase the growth rate of our crops. That'll kind of help out going forward, I think. Maybe we don't need as big of a farm if we have a bunch of the beehives down. So our depth marker is built, and we can click on it and see that the highest water level was 0.89, and right now we are at 0.64. So that's not terrible, but it's not great either. We can't really have it go too high because then it'll go over onto the land and start flooding. So it's not too bad that it's kind of low at the moment. We kind of want it around that height. And our dam over here is just about done getting built. We only need a few more logs and that'll be done, and hopefully that kind of helps going into the next drought. We can kind of flood the water out a little bit more during the off season here when we need it in this area, and hopefully we can kind of drag it out a little bit longer instead of drying out the water here. All right, there we go. It's done getting built, and we can go ahead and adjust this thing all the way up to the top to go ahead and stop the water flowing through. I think this will go ahead and backlog enough water to overflow the top of this, I think. So while that's happening and building up some water right now, I'm going to go ahead and move all of these beavers back to the main district here because we don't need them over here anymore. And there we go. It did indeed flood over the top of it, so that's good news for us. We're going to leave it at the max height until we go into the next drought. And then as we need to, we're going to go ahead and drop it down by halves, I think is what it goes by. Yeah, it goes down by halves. So we're going to go ahead and drop it down as we need it. And hopefully that allows us to kind of keep the water flowing through the river kind of as long as we can through the next drought here. But I think for right now, that's going to go ahead and be it for today's episode. Hopefully by next episode, we have these buildings done getting built. Right now, the main thing that is kind of slowing everything down are the planks and the gears. So hopefully those kind of kick into gear here and get produced a little more frequently. I might go ahead and also have the wheat field down by next episode as well, just so that we have some bread being produced as well, since we do have a lot of our people still starving, but they're not dying all that much here. But hopefully we don't lose too many in between episodes. But nonetheless, that's going to go ahead and be it for today's episode. So hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.